welcome to the first shot, filmed and edited video of 2022. It's been a bit of a rough one, been a bit up and down with some life changes and bits and pieces, so haven't been out in the field much, haven't been herping much, but as you can see, we're back on that, and I'm actually all the way up on the east coast, about 1800 kilometers away from Cape Town. So we're in some Indian Ocean coastal belt habitat. I'm actually driving on a really bad dirt road, as you can see. Actually in a sugarcane field, so along a sugarcane field, should I say. We've had some heavy rain, so I'm doing a little bit of cruising. I'm gonna shine some of these bushes for some chameleons, and hopefully we're gonna run into some frogs along the road. That would be really cool. Otherwise, not a bad time for snakes to be buzzing around. But when I see something, if I see something, we'll check in and hopefully get this East Coast trip off to a bit of a flyer. So yeah, being back on the East Coast really feels like you're in actual Africa compared to Cape Town. You can see I'm just driving through here. It's lush, it's green, there's frogs cruising all over the road. It's just mental. Humidity, you can almost like taste the humidity, it's so humid. But yeah, we're just working these cliff faces a little bit, stopping at all these roadside puddles and just seeing what we're going to turn up. So I just spotted a sleeping lizard. Let's go have a squiz and see what species it is, because you definitely can't come to the East Coast without seeing them. And I just lost it. There it is. Oh rad, it's a dwarf chameleon. This is Bradypodion melanocephalum, the KWAZULU-DWARF chameleon. You can see his head is just around there. He's actually a bad position to get a picture of, but yeah, Bradypodion melanocephalum. Nice to see these guys. Haven't seen them in a couple months. Just gonna log a quick record shot and get a voucher. So I just did a little bit of gardening to get a better look at this guy. You can see he's actually started to drink some of the rain that's falling. But yeah, Bradypodion melanocephalum, like I said earlier, KWAZULU-DWARF chameleon. You guys have seen these on the videos before on my last East Coast trip, so not gonna bug him too much. But yeah, nice to see the locals when I'm back in town. And we're going to carry on and see if we can't turn up any flatneck chameleons. So I just stopped to shine on these brothers. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. These are all sharp-nosed grass frogs, and they're probably going to bolt when I get too close. Let's see if I can get a little squiz. Yep, typical grass frog. Yeah, this is a sharp-nosed grass frog. And they're usually pretty skittish. I'm surprised I spoke too soon. But yeah, after the rains, they sort of chill out in these temporary pools in the road. You can see there's another one. Just this one little pool had 4 or 5 of them in it. Just gonna walk. Okay, they're all pretty much dry up here. But you can hear in the distance, so I could hear now, it stopped. There's a couple of Natal FORESTBTREE frogs calling. They've got this really cool like yak yak buzz kind of call. There you go, you can hear it quite clearly here. But they'll be deep in this sort of brush, and your boy is not prepared to get deep in this sort of brush wearing Vans and a pair of jeans, so not gonna happen. But I've got another spot on the way out we can maybe check out, see if we can't find some, because they're, although really common, they're really good looking frogs. So if we can show you some of those, it'll be quite sick. I don't think I've shown them on the videos before, so let's see how it goes. This, yeah, just on the side of the road here, this is typically where you get all the chameleons, like we've just seen. They really like this tall sort of thatching grass and these invasive, I think this is triffid weed at the back. But yeah, it's starting to drizzle a bit, so you can get back in the car and carry on driving. Cool, so I just spotted another chameleon. That's just another KWAZULU-DWARF chameleon. And the Bradypodion melanocephalum. See, this dude is just chilling out. He's just sleeping. Oh, I just woke him up. But nice to see decent numbers of these guys here. You can see they just hang literally on the roadside brush here, just chilling out, doing as little as possible. Oh, bugs. But yeah, I'm gonna grab a quick voucher of this guy and we're gonna carry on. I'm gonna try hit some more of these frogs before it gets too late in the night. And we got our first toad of the evening. This is a big old guttural toad. I didn't even have to get out the car. I'm still in the car. I just sort of opened the door and was able to get hands on him. He was just a big old boy hopping down the road. But just gonna grab a couple photographs, you know how we do, and then Mr. Toad can go on to do toad boy things. So right over there in that disgusting looking little ditch, we got another species for the night. This is the snoring puddle frog. Quite a crazy little name, but yeah, their call sounds like an old man snoring, so hence the name. Snoring puddle frog. These guys are pretty small. This is about as big as they get. You also get them with a nice dorsal stripe, orange to yellow stripe, but this guy's just a plain boy. But yeah, snapped a few photos just before I grabbed him, and we're gonna head off and see what else we can turn up. Come back, brother. So I've stopped for, I don't know, 20 of these in the last like 100 meters. Come back. I think I just lost him. So that was it for a quick little night drive, which didn't pan out too bad. I mean, we got 7 or 8 species of frogs, I think. I'll have to double check. Got a couple of chameleons, got 1 or 2 geckos. So all in all, not too bad. Tomorrow I'm actually heading about 150 kilometers south of where I am now to try and track down a rather elusive reed frog, Powers reed frog. I don't know how much success we're gonna have. I've pretty much got a good spot with some good intel that I've had for years and years on this spot. So yeah, we're gonna give it a red hot crack tomorrow. If nothing less, I get to go out and check out a new area that I haven't really explored or haven't spent too much time in. So I will catch you guys tomorrow. Good morning. We are back at it after last night's little adventure. I came prepared this morning, but I find myself in a marsh, in board shorts and slops, and I'm looking for a new species, well, a new species to me of reed frog called Powers reed frog. It's the last member of the genus in South Africa that I need to see, of the HYPEROLIUS family. We're going to give it a red hot crack this morning. I've traveled about 150 kilometers south of where I'm staying in Durban to come here and look for them. And it's been a frog that's been on my wish list for a long time. So I'm going to get after it and hopefully turn a couple of them up in this sort of sedge and sort of seepages. It's pretty damp and pretty gross. But yeah, we're going to give it a go. I probably should have worn closed shoes. I probably should have worn long pants. But I didn't. I'm not. And yeah, we are going to get right on after it. So this is really like looking for a green needle in a green haystack. I mean, this vegetation is just so dense. And these frogs are obviously relatively small. I mean, we're talking about sort of 30 moles or something. So I mean, they're really small frogs to begin with. And yeah, there's tons of green, obviously grasshoppers and other sort of creatures in here that are hopping and jumping. Well, it's as humid as anything out here, but we got our target. I just had to shove him in this tiny little Ziploc bag so he wouldn't escape. But I'll give you guys a better look at him once I get out of this marsh so he doesn't escape, because my camera is just in the car, so I don't want to walk it down the trail. But this is HYPEROLIUS poweri. It's Powers reed frog. It used to be called the long-nosed reed frog and a bunch of other things. But yeah, it's a pretty big deal for me. I have now officially seen all of the members of the genus, so flippin' chuffed to get hold of this guy. Gonna snap some photos obviously when I get back to the car, grab my camera, just let this dude go. But super chuffed to sort of have connected with this little guy so easily. It's just a close look at this ridiculously small sharp-nosed reed frog, or it's Powers reed frog. What is going on? It is now obviously the evening after we did that little forest walk this morning. Had to catch up on a bit of work today, so didn't do too much, pretty much anything else exciting. But yeah, I'm heading about 20 kilometers north up the coast to head up some frogging, and it's going to be a little bit frogging. Maybe we might find some sleeping green snakes in the bushes. It's going to be a little bit different from what we're used to in terms of vehicles that we're going in and the general sort of gist of the herping. So let's get it. And just like that, we switched up our gear, we switched up the vehicle. We are herping tonight. If you haven't figured out already, we're herping in a golf cart tonight, so we're gonna go get stuck after it. I've seen a few little frogs buzzing around already, but we've got a couple of targets in mind. So we're here for the evening, so we're gonna get stuck into it and we're gonna find ourselves some frogs. Let's go. The addition for this evening, it's just a little common river frog, just hanging out here on this little lily pad. And here the frogs are going ballistic. And just like that, we've got our first frogs of the night. What is this? There is a guttural toad chilling out there at the back, and he's probably a meter off the ground. What are you doing, brother? But this little forest tree frog, he's supposed to be out here living his best life, you know, in the reeds and trees. And this guttural toad, bro, why are you in the bush? That's bizarre. That's absolutely bizarre. I've never seen them off the floor like that. We got another good looking Natal forest tree frog here. The wind is just blowing considerably, so I don't know how good the audio is going to be. But these are the guys you can hear. They're making this yak yak sort of bizz sound. But yeah, nice to get a couple of these on the board. Can I log them and carry on? So I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, and to be honest, I don't know how close I'm going to be able to get. But right up there is a sleeping green water snake. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. I know the quality is going to be dreadful, but yeah, those are the ventral scales of a green water snake, PHILOTHAMNUS HOPLOGASTER. I'm going to try see if I can maybe get it down to have a better look at it, but I have to deal with that. So let me give it a go and let's see how far we get. Let's try this. This could end in me falling in the water and failing epically, but oh well. Oh god, this water's so deep. We got him. Can't see, this light is so bright, but check it out right there. It's a green water snake that was just sleeping in the branches. I have to log it for the sort of project that I'm working on here, so that's really the only reason. Let me get rid of this bright light so I can actually see, but this is the only reason I really got him down, just because I need photographic records of each reptile that I find on this estate. But yeah, nice to see a snake, first sleeping snake of 2022. Green water snake. Yeah, boy. This is another good looking frog. This is a, don't be shy, friend. This is a tinker reed frog. These guys are relatively common and they're usually a nice, vibrant lime green. You can see this guy is lacking a little bit on the lime green side, but still pretty green, more of a yellow. He's just hanging out. These are a favorite prey for brown water snakes. They often just smash these guys while they're out in the reeds. And I just saw another species of frog. Oh wow, we got two species of frogs here. I didn't even realize. There is a minuscule, absolutely minuscule water lily frog over there. And just hiding behind this leaf is, what have we got here? We got a leaf folding frog. This is a Phrixilus fornasanii. And he's just out hanging on the back of this leaf. They call them leaf folding frogs because they actually literally fold over leaves and then deposit their eggs in the sort of folds. Really interesting frogs. And there he goes. Let me try to give you a good look at this water lily frog. Man, this thing is so tiny. I haven't seen a tiny frog like this in quite a while. Let's see if my phone will even focus. And this will actually look really similar to the frog that we found that I was trekking through those marshes and swamps for, but you can see it doesn't have such a sharp face as that one. It's got that same sort of yellow stripe. But to give you an idea, I mean, here's my fingernail next to this frog. This frog is absolutely tiny. So we're not going to bug this dude too much. It's really windy, so I'm going to grab a quick vulture shot and keep on going. The wind is really picking up, but there's another greater leaf folding frog. You can see they got that really nice vertical stripe down the spine. And what I was saying earlier about the folding of leaves, they will literally take a leaf like this, they bend it somehow, and they deposit the egg mass just like that. Or usually, should I say, they'll bend the leaf like that, and they glue the eggs in there, and then when the eggs hatch, or should I say when the eggs hatch into tadpoles, they fall down in the water and they go do their thing. Really interesting sort of kind of egg development and breeding process for the leaf folding frog. Super cool species. So I got a laugh. I've probably walked past this tree 3 or 4 times looking for frogs, and I mean under the light you can see it really clearly, but there's another green water snake just hanging out, sleeping in the foliage right next to the sort of water body here. I might actually just get a quick photo of him in situ like this, just chilling. It should be good enough for my record that I need, but otherwise I might just grab him up. You can see what they typically do is they'll curl their head right under the leaves like that, so if it rains or something the head is not immersed in water. Green water snakes. Oh, my cable's tapped around the leaf here, he's gonna wake up. So I just got back to my golf cart to load up some gear, and there's a freaking tinker reed frog just chilling out on the golf cart. What are you doing, brother? Maybe he's looking at his reflection there, who knows, but gonna log him quickly, and then we're gonna head as far as this golf cart can go. And this is what it's like riding the golf cart in the middle of a dark golf course, because if I turn my video light on I get destroyed by bugs. So we are trying to find our way to the next spot, the next sort of water hazard with loads of frog life, but in the dark it's going to be a little bit difficult, but we are going to do that or get lost. So here we go. There you go, you can hear that high pitch calling in the background. That is the painted reed frog, and those are 2 painted reed frogs in Amplexus. So creating the next generation of these loud, obtrusive frogs. Let's go. Just excuse the bad light. I left my video light in the car while I was photographing. But right where those other painted reed frogs were, there's another pair of amplextic, or painted reed frogs in Amplexus. Really cool. These guys are just not phased at all by my presence. So grab a couple of photos, some short video clips, and we can leave these guys to it. Here's just another common river frog. This guy's just chilling on the golf green, this nice manicured lawn, when he's literally got all the ponds and swamps and seepages that he needs. But he's hanging out here, catching bugs on the greens. And while I saw this guy, I peered up and there was another one. Oh, here we go. This one's actually got, oh no, it's a puddle frog. It's a nice looking puddle frog with a nice vertical stripe. Definitely gonna snap a quick picture of this dude. Well, the golf cart fun has come to a dramatic halt. I stopped and get out to photograph some frogs, and now we can't get going again, and I'm stuck out here on the course, so I'm a little bit screwed. So I don't know what I'm going to do, because I'm way out here and there's no one here and I'm so far away from the clubhouse, so it's a bit of a problem. So this is just the chariot that just won't go. I don't know what I've done, or I think I'm probably just not starting it in the right sequence or doing something. So we're going to give it another crack, but if it doesn't work this time, I have no idea what I'm going to do. I'm on like the 5th tee box of an 18-hole green, so I'm miles away from it anyway. Another little toad for the night. This is a little guttural toad, ever present on these golf courses. They seem to really like these flat, manicured greens. I think they have little insects and bugs, but yeah, guttural toad. Common sight that we see here KZN in the summer. So this is so ridiculous, I can't even hear myself think. But here's a really good Argus reed frog. He's just hanging out here with his vocal sac extended, just living his best frog life. Good morning. We're out here a little bit early this morning. I'm actually walking along this little promenade area here. I'm actually heading towards the beach, but we're gonna see if we can't come across any herps just down sort of in these shady sections here where the sun breaks. But yeah, not really starting the day off herping, more like just coming and hang out down the beach. But I'm gonna walk this little elevated boardwalk trail at the end that actually goes through pristine coastal forest, where I've seen quite a lot of snakes when I've been here previously. And a couple of weeks ago, it had the community in a bit of a chaos, but there was a Mozambique spitting cobra spotted crossing the path here, and people are freaking out, even though this is literally pristine natural bush and their habitat. But yeah, let's see what we can spot, and I'll update you if we see anything. It's gonna be a real stretch, but right over there is a southern tree garment just basking in the sun there. It's quite far away, so it's a bit difficult to see him, but he's doing this weird thing where he's wiggling his tail. He got spooked by something. Yeah, nice to spot a first herp of the day, southern tree garment. So just walking through all these sort of bits of concrete just in the little area here right next to the road, as you can hear, but turned up a little herald snake. While in the process, I didn't actually notice it at the time, but I think he zapped me on my thumb that I'm filming with, so I think there's a bit of blood on him from me actually. Quite beautiful snakes, although they are quite common. They got a beautiful iridescence on them. As you can see there, he's got quite a nice dark temples on him, nice orange eye with a bit of orange just above the lip there. They used to call them red-lipped heralds back in the day, but as you can see, that face is definitely not red. It's more of an orange, and it can be yellow. But yeah, these guys are pretty cool. Frog specialists, we've seen them before. They are quite common, but always nice to get something else on the board. You can see, let me switch hands here. Yeah, he managed to zap me just on the hand there. It's actually leaking a little bit, but nothing to worry about. Gross, man. But if you want to catch the snakes, you're gonna get bitten sometimes, and that's what happens. I mean, check this out. This is the elevated boardwalk section that I was mentioning earlier. It's only been up here for probably like close on a year now, and it cuts through this pristine coastal forest. They managed to do it without disrupting too much of the natural vegetation. I mean, you can see they even prioritized for the trees to hang through here. It might be a little bit light, sorry, there's the sea is right on that side, but there, yeah, tons of cool little spots where you can potentially find snakes. I've seen them just on this boardwalk here. They sort of go in and out of these little planks where they hunt the sleeping HEMIDACTYLUS, the sleeping tropical house geckos. So yeah, let's give it a little walk. Maybe we'll spot something. If not, we still got the whole walk back. So I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but there's actually an eastern sand skink here. You can see it foraging through the loose soil, which is pretty interesting. Hence why it gets its name, and obviously, you know, to avoid the harsh sun, they'll also sort of duck down in amongst this debris just to get out of the harsh sun. You can see now it's just moving off into the shade. Oh, it's quite a cool little observation. Always nice to know why the common name exists. So have a look at this guy. I was telling you about the green snakes that come out and eat all the lizard. There's a little tiny newborn eastern sand skink just catching a bit of sun on the side of this sort of boardwalk. I was actually sitting on this little bench over here, and saw it just out of the corner of my eye, just chilling. But yeah, eastern little sand skink, another species for the day. Again, this is just the habitat. I mean, it may come as a surprise to see so many lizards and agamas, and like I said earlier, even sort of you get snakes crossing this sort of pathway, but I mean, you've got pretty much development right on here to the coast. There's a thin sort of promenade that sort of cuts through the vegetation, and then obviously we've got the beach. And still these lizards seem to eke out an existence, typically on these sort of like shoulders of the path here. But it's pretty hot again, so these guys are probably all bunking down in the shade, or at least in the dapple light. So let's see what we can spot. This is another eastern sand skink, just sitting on the side of this promenade pavement. You can see he's just got a little portion of his body in the sun, the rest is all just in the shade because it's probably well on 30 degrees now. They usually swim quite easily if I go too close to them, yeah, and they just dash off. There he goes. So I'm just heading back to my car. It's super hot, but I just walked on this little Brahminy's blind snake. This guy's not looking too healthy. It's super hot, so I think he's a bit on the warm side. I'm just going to place him down here in this soil. So I'm going to go through to the shade there. But yeah, these guys are actually the Brahminy's blind snake, or they also call them flypot snakes. They're actually an invasive species across most of the world. I know they're quite prevalent in places like Florida and the US, and obviously all across the world really. But nice to log this guy. I'm actually just going to, you can see how shiny those scales are. Just going to log this guy and just chuck him back in the bush. So you guessed it, we're back out. The weather is looking absolutely atrocious, if I'm quite honest. I think from what I've seen on the weekend, there's actually going to be a tropical cyclone off the coast of Mozambique, which may hit landfall and sort of disrupt things here a little bit on the east coast. So hopefully that doesn't happen to all that soon. But yeah, I'm heading out, if I eventually get away from this truck, I'm heading up to the upper highway area here in KZN. I'm gonna go meet up with Gus, and we're actually gonna go look for some really cool frogs that aren't too common and you don't see a lot of. Our main two targets tonight are going to be the kloof frog, really interesting species that actually the males sit next to the egg clumps that they lay across sort of reeds and vegetation that floats or lays over the water, above the water should I say. And then another big one is going to be the Natal cascade frog, which previously used to be called the Natal ghost frog. So we're going to get after that. I've seen both of them before, so nothing too special for me, but I know Gus hasn't seen either, so we're going to get after it. As you can see, I'm using the chimney today, although it's not mine, it's my father's. Got a radio that takes a CD. Do you guys even know what CDs are? I don't know. But anyway, we're gonna get up that hill way up there and pick up Gus and get going. Cool, so we just rocked up to the forest. Out here I'm with my boy Gus, and we've already got our main, or one of the two main targets for tonight. See if I don't die going down here. But where is it gone? And there's our first target of the night. He's a really small kloof frog. Let's try to get closer without getting engulfed in this mud. And have just a look at him there. And one of the cool things about these frogs is actually, like I was saying yesterday, they lay these egg masses. You can see there's the eggs, and usually the males stick around, so I don't know where this guy is, but there are the egg masses, and they lay them right above the water like that, so when the tadpoles emerge, they fall right into the water below, hopefully avoiding the big rain spider. But yeah, really cool. Nice to get them so easily. Oh, he's jumping away. We had to get Gus on watch here. And yeah, that's the kloof frog, first major target of tonight. Good going. And for everyone who was missing Gus, oh, there's Gus, finger sorted. Cool, we're gonna get some pics and get after some more. So we're just walking through the forest here, off to the next spot, and we just spooked this little bush squeaker. You can see he's got these sort of hourglass patterns on the back there. And these guys really like this dense sort of leaf litter, and they just cruise around doing bush squeaker things. But yeah, I'm just gonna grab a quick picture, log the scar, and go see if we can't find more kloof frogs. Cool, so we just had another little pond, and we actually found a load of egg mass, a few egg masses. You can see these are the egg masses, and like I was saying, the adults or the fathers or the males usually guard the egg mass. And right here is the male kloof frog, just standing guard, probably 35-40 centimeters away from his eggs. Getting close in here. And typically what they do is they urinate on the egg mass to keep them moist if they sort of start to dry out. So you can see, like I was saying, here is the frog, and his egg mass is right over there. So super cool, nice to see them quite regularly. Like I said, the weather is pretty bad. It's really windy and it's really not pleasant conditions to be out here. But the frogs are out, so we're out. Just while I was photographing this guy, he sort of hopped right into the water, so I just got him in hand quickly to put him back near his egg mass. But yeah, have a good look at that. Kloof frog, NATALENSIS WAHLBERGII. You can see they've got these really impressive toe pads, long rear limbs and rather short front phalanges and on the rear limbs with these very big sort of tubercles. But I'm just going to put him right back near his egg mass so he can just calm down. Oh, don't go in there, you'll get eaten by the platanas, friend. Cool, so we've managed to see the adult kloof frogs, we've managed to see the egg masses, and now here's just a little tadpole that I just scooped out the stream. Just put it in a little shallow pool here of water, just so it doesn't get out the water too much. And still obviously hang about in this thin layer of water. But yeah, this is a tadpole of the kloof frog. It takes approximately, I think it is 2 months, plus minus 2 months, for them to metamorphosize into fully fledged frogs. And yeah, kloof frog pretty much done on its whole life cycle. Awesome. Cool, so we just got another kloof frog. This little male that Gus found. That's also sitting near its egg mass, and then it's sort of spooked off a little bit. You can see the size of them, I mean, just compared to my finger. There's actually another tiny little freshly or newly metamorphed one that's obviously just crawled out. This is an absolutely tiny kloof frog. You can see still got the remnants of the tail there. So yeah, we're having quite a lot of luck in here. Some of us are having luck. Gus went for a quick swim, so he's looking very wet. I mean, he's got a raincoat, it's not raining, but just turned up another little bush squeaker. This one's got a plain one compared to the other ones we just found. But yeah, we're in sort of like a artificial bamboo forest. They're not very indigenous, but there are tons of spiders, there's loads of centipedes and all other sorts of disgusting bugs and creatures which we're not huge fans of. But yeah, I'm gonna snap a few pictures of this little guy and we're gonna get on for some more frogs. Cool, so we got another bush squeaker. This is a really nice looking one. Again, it has virtually no patterns and you can't really tell on the video light, well, with my headlamp, but it's really sort of pinky orange compared to the others. So I'm gonna snap a quick photo of it and then we're just gonna head back down. I think we'll probably head down to the waterfall to look for some other species. So we just found some ducks, but that's not what we're filming. We got a little tropical house gecko just out here on the logs. Quite nice to see them actually not on a building or outside of light, but actually in some natural habitat. But yeah, we're done with this guy. We can just discuss this and let him go back on his friendly log. And there he goes. Tropical house gecko in all his glory. Just on our way to the waterfall, got another little common river frog. These guys are pretty much as common as they come, hence the name. So nothing too special, but always nice to get another frog on the board. The Meteor delalandia. Cool, we're just making our way down this death-defying pathway. We're going to try find some cascade frogs somewhere where you can hear the water rumbling. We are going to head down there and hopefully turn some up if we don't die and fall down this cliff in the process, which in any event, which would mean that you wouldn't see this video, but we are going to give it a go and see if we can't find any. Cool, so we just scored our targets for tonight. Here's actually a tadpole of the Natal cascade frog. You can see, if I can show you, he's got these ridiculous mouth parts. And you think, why would a tadpole have those crazy mouth parts? But you can't really get the full picture, but there is a massive waterfall. So I can turn my headlamp on. There's a massive waterfall, like probably, I don't know, 20 meters high. We had to mission down to get here. We've got a couple of the tadpoles in this little pond here, which I'll show you a few more of. We just sort of bagged one in this just a little Ziploc container with some water just to get some photographs and document it. But yeah, we saw quite a big cascade frog, and Gus has actually got another one down here. Let's see if I can get a quick video and interrupt him. But yeah, this is pretty much a sub-adult or a really small adult Natal cascade frog. Our main target, so we smashed our 2 frog targets. Too easy. So I don't know how you're going to be able to see this, just because of the fast flowing water. But there are 2 Natal cascade frog tadpoles in relatively fast moving water as it's sort of barreling down the rock here. And they're just sucking with their mouth parts, just staying put here. These frogs, these tadpoles are probably easily sort of 5 centimeters long. Really nice to see so many of them here. So population's obviously doing really well. So nice to visit again. It's probably been about 4 or 5 years since I've been to the site. So awesome to see them happy. So how cool is this? After we found the adult frog, we found now one with the tail, and hopefully we can just find a tadpole, and then we can pretty much complete the entire life cycle. We got the adult, the sort of one that's a couple of months away from being an adult. So now, yeah, if we can just turn up a nice looking tadpole, we can just sort of complete the whole circle. And you can see they've got these really impressive toe pads that help them cling to the rock surfaces in this fast flowing water. I actually hope you can hear me, it's super loud up here on this water. And there's Gus actually busy photographing stuff. He got quite wet, he needed gumboots. So yeah, this is, again, in case you missed the last part, this is a Natal cascade frog. Cool, so here's just a nice close-up look at the cascade frog tadpole. You can see they've got these really large mouths with these really large suction cup sort of mouth parts on the bottom where they cling to the rocks, especially in these fast-flowing rapids and streams like this. And they can take up to two years to metamorphosize totally into a small froglet. So absolutely amazing little frogs. These streams here running through forests are run pretty cold, so I mean the metamorphosis cycle is quite slow, unlike some of the other frogs down at the coast, which literally will metamorphosize into young frogs within a couple of weeks. These guys are really slow, but I don't want to keep this guy out of the water too long. I'm just going to pop him back in the pool and hopefully find a couple more frogs. There he goes back into the water. You can see how hard it is to actually see them, especially with the forming light. So yeah, this guy's going to go on, do his thing, and hopefully turn into a frog. That's another really good looking Natal cascade frog. You can see it just was sitting right next to this like little waterfall cascading down the rock here. He's not even aware of my presence at all. He's just really calm, and he's just hanging back here. I'm getting absolutely drenched in the process, but it's really nice to just see these guys in situ and see how they naturally sit along the sort of rocky ledges like this. Alright, cool. We are sufficiently soaked to the bone. I have water in my boots, so we're going to call it a night. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. A little bit of a longer video, super frog heavy, but I will catch you on the next KZN video soon.